Okay, I'm here to tell you about REM sleeping. As you may know, everybody sleeps, and REM sleep is the deepest sleep phase that everyone can have. And REM stands for rapid eye movement, which literally means that your eyes are moving rapidly in irregular directions. And according to Live Science, only 36% of adults can remember their dreams, and dreams usually occur during REM sleep, and that is because REM sleep is the phase of rebuilding memory and having the ability to learn what you have just recently learned that day. And so I'm going to be talking about the fifth phase of sleeping, which is REM, of when the muscles are paralyzed to your mind and is rebuilding, and what is being learned. REM sleep is short, and it can be improved by it can improve your ability to learn info, and it can show your level of stress. So there are 5 sleeping phases, and the first phase is very light sleep, and you can easily be awoken, and that happens about 10 minutes that happens for the first 10-minute duration of you being asleep. Then the second phase is a deeper sleep, which is not really important. It's just kind of your body starts to lower its heart rate, and your breathing also decreases. And then the third phase is also the same thing as the second one, except it's just a little deeper. And then the fourth phase happens once about 90 minutes after you've actually fallen asleep. And that is when your brain actually starts to release a chemical called acetylcholine and serotonin. And that is activated into your spine, which temporarily paralyzes your muscles, so your brain actually uses it as a protection so that you don't injure yourself while you're having a dream, because what they call sleepwalking is when your body does not activate serotonin and acetylcholine, and whatever your dream is, you're actually going to do. Your muscles will activate, and a story has been that a woman had fallen asleep and ended up starting sleepwalking, walked into her kitchen, stabbed herself several times, went back to bed, and she woke up and she almost bled to death, but luckily she survived. But that is a fatality that can happen if you don't, if your brain does not release those chemicals. Yes. And so the phase length of the fifth phase is about 90 to 120 minutes, and since your sleep is a cycle of 1 through the fifth phase, and the REM sleep is the fifth phase, which is 120 minutes, and it's actually only 20 to 25% of your sleep. Now it repeats, as I said, and the dreams usually happen only in REM sleep, but REM is usually where you remember the sleeps or remember the dreams, and since not everybody can drift into REM sleep, they may be able to occur or remember that they did have a dream, but they can't remember exactly what happened, and that would be all the 5 phases. Now, REM sleep also improves your memory, and it can store memories, it can help you learn, and it also balances your mood. Now, when I say you can learn more knowledge, is that when you sleep, your brain kind of resets itself and goes over what you learned that day. And what it does is that it keeps things that it thinks is important for you. And so, if you're sleep deprived, you lose attention, memory, and focus. And so you don't do well in class because you can't remember, because your brain wasn't allowed to gain that knowledge and save it. A study was shown by Dr. Robert Stickold with a test of intensive language learning, where he had one group of people, 36 people, half of them got 12 hours of sleep, and the other half got about 4. And he wanted to do the test where people had an extreme amount of sleep and extreme small amount of sleep, and then after that he would try to make them learn some language, and what he found was that those who had more sleep, had more REM sleeping, their eyes move more rapidly. It was an increase, and the people who had less sleep didn't have as much REM sleep. And that just shows that the more you learn, the more REM sleep you can have, and that the more knowledge you can gain and remember. And then there's two kinds of REM sleep, which would be declarative and procedural. And declarative phase or type of REM sleep is pretty much of what happened during your day, which is based on facts that you were told or you read or watched. And so it would be like, for example, Paris is the capital of France. And that is just information that you would keep to yourself, and it wouldn't be exactly in dreams, but it would be stored knowledge. But the main thing in dreaming in REM sleep would be procedural, which is how phase, how to go, how to do something, like how to ride a bicycle. And since our instinct is surviving every single day, our dreams usually can be as nightmares because of or running away from something. And it's a scenario that our brain wants us to be able to know, so that if that happens, our brain will have like muscle memory or knowledge that, oh, I've ran away from this before, I know what I can do, or I know what to do. And so that's mainly what your nightmares are. They're scenarios of what could possibly go wrong, and that would be procedural type REM sleep. Now what REM sleep is specifically, it is, like I said, the acetylcholine and serotonin activation that sends the signals to your cerebral cortex into your spine, which temporarily paralyzes your muscles. And that is good. Like I said, sleepwalking is the bad side of called muscular atonia or suppression. And the good thing is that it keeps you paralyzed so you don't do what the lady did, as stabbing herself. And while you're in REM sleep, your breathing increases and irregularly, and your body temperature decreases as you get deeper into REM sleep. So now that I've told you about the different phases of REM sleep, now you can look back and think, oh, I want to remember my dreams.